This clip is brought to you by SaveWithConrad.com.
But before we get into that, I want to mention we're coming right off of the Invasion pay-per-view, and JR and I recently talked about that over on Grill and JR, but it's an interesting decision because they do the same thing they did at WrestleMania 17. They turned Stone Cold Steve Austin into a bad guy again. So now he's abandoned the WWF. He's joined the Alliance, and you two are clearly the top two guys in the promotion. So I guess it makes sense. Were you surprised that they had him turn heel again and not you?
Yes. Stone Cold Steve Austin, he wasn't getting stale as a babyface. He was still hot as hell, and there was no reason to turn him. I think the reason why they turned him is because they wanted to start creating more baby faces. And Austin was a great in-ring worker, a great character on TV. And I think they thought that he could make a lot of talent.
You know, you had a meteoric rise here in the company. I mean, 2001, when you go back and you look at that Invasion pay-per-view, star-studded, so many big stars on the show. But the two biggest pops, and it's not even close, are you and Steve Austin. Fans are really responding to you so early in your career here, 2001. Did you have like a go-to guy, like a mentor or somebody you could lean on for advice? Or are you just trying to figure this out on your own?
I figured most of it out on my own. I mean, when you get a top spot like that, you don't have a lot of people giving you advice. They want to see how you do. They want to see how you pan out. Are you going to succeed or are you going to fail? It's pretty lonely at the top, my friend. So you have to take it in stride and understand that you're going to basically do this on your own. You're going to get some advice from some agents, but for the most part, this is all by yourself.
I'm curious from a Vince McMahon standpoint. We've heard a lot of times that Vince McMahon wants a personal relationship with his top stars. And in this era, are you as hands-on and you're creative with Vince McMahon as say Steve Austin would have been? Or are you more just showing up and doing what they ask you to do?
Actually, they made me part of creative. When I got that top spot, the creative started calling me every week and bouncing ideas off of me. And Vince would even call me at times. So I had Vince's ear and he had mine. And, you know, when you're in a top spot like that, Vince wants to make sure that everything is going perfectly. And he wants to fill the talent in on what they need to do and how they're going to go about the next storyline or whatever it is. But, you know, they throw ideas at you and you can say yes or no. For the most part, they'll go whatever decision you decide. But, you know, for me, I was game for anything. So I would just say yes, you know, whenever creative would throw an idea at me and I'd say, okay, let's do this.
When you say creative, do you mean Bruce was calling, Brian was calling? Who would be sort of your go-to guy to call and pitch you ideas?
Brian, Bruce, Vince, all of them, even JR. So, you know, JR wasn't part of creative, but, you know, at times he would call me and give me some advice. But for the most part, it was Brian Gewirtz throwing ideas back at me.
We've heard over the years, guys joke that Vince is almost like a nocturnal animal. He would just call you at all hours of the night because he doesn't sleep. Did you get any weird middle of the night calls from Vince in this era?
Sometimes at 1 a.m, 1:30 in the morning, Vince would call me, ask me if I'm okay, what I thought about the show that night. Because Vince, when he gets done with the show, he wraps up the show, he gets in his limo and he goes to the hotel, and then they rent out a gym in that city, and Vince works out from 2 to 4 in the morning. Then he goes back to the hotel, goes to sleep from 4:30 to 6, and then he wakes up again. He takes an hour and a half nap, and that's it. He's a monster. He does that every day.
It's unbelievable. Well, the other thing that comes out around this time is that the Invasion buy rate was huge. I think to this day, it is the most purchased WWF pay-per-view that wasn't named WrestleMania, but it beat every SummerSlam. It beat every Royal Rumble. I'm not exactly asking you to tell me a dollar figure, but was it your biggest payday that wasn't for a WrestleMania?
It was close. I will tell you this. I won't tell you how high it was, but it was 6 figures. And that's a great payoff for a non-WrestleMania payday. And, you know, I think a lot of the guys were happy about that pay-per-view.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Hey, it's Conrad Thompson. Thanks for checking out the podcast here on YouTube. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and the notifications bell so you get a notice anytime we upload some new content. And go save yourself some money right now. If you're in a 30-year loan or you have credit card debt, it's not a matter of if I can save you money. It's a matter of how much. Find out right now for free at SaveWithConrad.com.